They said the tomb of Osiris was only a legend, a myth whispered by the priests of Abydos to warn mankind never to disturb the gods. But in 1999, deep beneath the Egyptian desert, a team of archaeologists uncovered something they shouldn't have. At first, it seemed like another ruin, another forgotten chamber under the sands. But the deeper they went, the more they realized this wasn't just a tomb. It was a message, a warning carved in stone thousands of years ago, sealed away so no one could ever find it again. The entrance was buried under meters of sandstone, perfectly aligned with the constellation of Orion. When they finally broke through, the air that escaped smelled of something ancient, something damp and wrong. Their sensors glitched, batteries drained, cameras shut off one by one. In the center of the main chamber, surrounded by water black as oil, was a massive granite sarcophagus floating in silence. No body, no gold, just an eye, the eye of Ra, scratched violently across the lid as if someone wanted to erase it from existence. Dr. Abd el-Hakim, the lead archaeologist, stared for a long time before whispering, "This isn't a tomb, it's a warning." His voice was shaking. Days later, the Egyptian authorities sealed the site, called it a restricted area, and all footage vanished. But some workers talked. They said the night after the dig, strange lights danced over Abydos, moving like constellations in the sky. And by dawn, the dunes above the chamber had shifted into the shape of an eye staring up at the heavens. To understand why this discovery terrified them, you need to remember who Osiris was: the god of the afterlife, the judge of the dead, the one who died twice, once at the hands of Set, and again, as the texts say, when men tried to use his name to control life itself. The pyramid texts contain a line no one could ever fully translate. The king descends into the house of waters, where Osiris sleeps, and men shall drown in his breath. For centuries, scholars thought it was a metaphor. But what the archaeologists found beneath Abydos was a literal house of waters. The walls of the chamber were carved with scenes that defied explanation. Men holding rods of light, circles emitting beams toward lifeless bodies, and above them all, Osiris watching, eyes closed. Some said it symbolized resurrection, the soul's journey after death. But others, like Professor Salima Ikram, argued these were depictions of something real, ancient technology, maybe even an attempt to restore life. If that's true, the chamber wasn't built to honor Osiris. It was built to contain what was left of him. Under torchlight, one worker claimed to see something no photograph ever captured, an ankh carved into the wall, broken in half. The symbol of life, divided. Soon after, he fell ill. His skin turned pale, his pulse slowed, and he swore he could hear water dripping even when everything was dry. Months later, satellite scans revealed something under the desert near Abydos, a perfect circular pattern carved into the limestone, invisible from the surface. Enhanced imaging showed a spiral design radiating outward from the Osirian, like a vortex pulling energy to its center. On the spring equinox, the light of Orion's belt passes directly through a shaft above the Osirian and hits one single point, the sarcophagus, for exactly 7 seconds. Ancient myths say Osiris awakens once each year to witness the world of men. No one believed that until locals began reporting their phones dying, compasses spinning, and voices echoing from beneath the sand. Scientists dismissed it as superstition, but the Egyptian ministry didn't. They sealed the site again and labeled it unstable. No further excavations allowed. So why guard an empty tomb? Why hide a discovery that supposedly has no value? Some say it's because of what they found beside the sarcophagus, a statue of Osiris with green crystals for eyes. The crystals weren't quartz. They were a mineral never recorded anywhere in Egypt. The statue now sits in a private government storage room, cataloged under unknown origin. When a journalist asked why it wasn't displayed, the response was short. Some discoveries don't belong to our time. That line alone sent ripples through the archaeological world. If the Chamber of Osiris truly existed, it could rewrite everything we know about Egypt's past and humanity's place in it. Because it means the ancient Egyptians weren't worshiping gods. They were trying to contain them. In 2010, a private research group conducted underground scans beneath the Osirian using radar imaging. They found something no one expected. Another structure, 30 meters deeper, larger, aligned not with Orion, but with Sirius, the star of Isis. If Osiris and Isis were buried facing each other underground, it would complete their myth, death and life united beneath the desert. But that wasn't the strange part. The strange part was movement. The radar picked up subtle shifts, as if something inside was displacing liquid. It wasn't solid stone, it wasn't sand. It was something else. A sealed chamber with water that moves. The same black water found in the first tomb. The readings were so unusual that they thought the equipment was malfunctioning. But after running multiple tests, the data was consistent. Something below Abydos was alive. The final excavation report, later leaked online, ended with a handwritten note. If the second chamber is real, we are no longer excavating history. We are unsealing it. That sentence alone explains why no one has been allowed near the Osirian since. Officially, it's closed for restoration. Unofficially, it's a no-entry zone guarded by armed personnel. Locals say the ground around the site sometimes hums at night, like a low vibration under the sand. They hear water moving when the wind stops. Some even claim to see faint blue light beneath the dunes, pulsing slowly, like a heartbeat. Every few years, storms uncover fragments of black stone carved with unfamiliar symbols, none of which match any known Egyptian script. Maybe it's all coincidence. Maybe the stories grew in the retelling. But something about the Osiris chamber feels different. The energy, the silence, the sense that it's watching you back. Historians say myths are just echoes of truth, twisted over time. But sometimes, those echoes come from something that's still speaking. If the second chamber exists, and if what sleeps inside ever awakens, then the myth of Osiris, the god of resurrection, may no longer be a story. It may be a cycle waiting to repeat. When you stand in the desert of Abydos at dusk, the air feels heavy. The wind slows. The sand begins to ripple like water, even when everything is still. Locals refuse to walk there after dark. They say the ground breathes. And when the moonlight hits the dunes, the outline of an eye appears. The same eye that was once scratched out of the sarcophagus. The same symbol the ancients tried to erase from existence. Maybe Osiris was never meant to rule the underworld. Maybe he was buried to keep him from returning to this one. The ancients called it the House of Waters. But if the stories are true, it was never a house. It was a prison. And somewhere beneath the sand, that prison still stands, waiting. Because not all tombs are built to honor the dead. Some are built to hold what should never live again. If this story reaches you, remember, some discoveries were never meant for our time. Subscribe to World History Secrets, because history isn't just what we've learned, it's what we were told to forget.